Welcome to the debate. Today, we're diving into what is, well, one of the most compelling engineering showdowns of the year, the rivalry between two absolute flagships from Mahindra. On one side, you've got the XUV 7XO, the ultimate evolution of their successful W601 platform, really the pinnacle of traditional combustion engineering.
And on the other, you have the XEV 9S, which is the dedicated electric seven-seater launching on that groundbreaking INGLO skateboard architecture. So this is more than just marketing, right? It's a live comparison between the best of today and really the foundation of tomorrow. It forces us to ask what truly defines a flagship SUV in 2026.
Exactly. Our central question today is whether the established reliability, the rugged mechanicals, and, frankly, the superior range security of the IC XUV 7XO offer a better, more pragmatic ownership proposition compared to the inherent performance and the advanced architectural advantages of the electric XUV 9S.
I'll be championing the XEV 9S. Its dedicated EV structure, that INGLO platform, it delivers an unmatched dynamic capability, a superior safety architecture, and some really crucial, innovative utility that the legacy structure of the 7XO, however refined it is, it simply cannot match. The physics are on my side here.
Well, my position is rooted in real-world resilience and, operational freedom. For a go-anywhere seven-seater SUV, particularly in a country with such varied terrain, range security is it's non-negotiable. The XUV 7XO diesel AWD is still the only choice for proper mechanical all-wheel traction, which is essential. But more importantly, the diesel gives you a verified real-world driving range of somewhere between 720 and 840 kilometers on one tank.
That's a massive number, and I get why that's appealing. But range security is only one metric.
It is the defining metric for adventure touring. That kind of range just fundamentally eliminates anxiety. Now you look at the XEV 9S. Real-world tests put its usable range at about 477 kilometers. That means the XEV 9S is dependent on finding a fast charger every, 350 kilometers just to be safe. The ICE vehicle is simply unconstrained. It's inherently more usable across the country right now.
I see why you emphasize that freedom. But let me give you a perspective that's more rooted in accessible performance and just the pure driving experience. The XEV 9S is dynamically superior, and that's because its dedicated skateboard platform allows for perfect weight distribution. You're placing that heavy 450-kilo battery pack at the absolute lowest point in the chassis. That gives you a center of gravity that's, it's significantly lower than anything possible in the 7XO, and that immediately gives you better handling.
But confidence doesn't replace horsepower or the torque of a big diesel engine.
Okay, let's talk about power delivery then. The XEV 9S is only a single-motor, rear-wheel drive setup, I'll give you that. But it delivers 282 bhp and an instantaneous 380 newton-meters of torque. And let's look at the crucial metric, 0 to 100 kilometers per hour. The XEV 9S does that in a segment-leading 7.0 seconds flat. The equivalent XUV 7XO petrol, it's somewhere between 9.0 and 9.5 seconds. That 2-second margin is massive. It proves the electric architecture is just fundamentally more efficient.
And that brings us directly to my skepticism. Why should traditional buyers trust a single 282 bhp electric motor in the XEV 9S, a vehicle weighing well over 2.2 tons, over the proven torque monster, the 450 newton-meter M-Hawk diesel in the 7XO? These combustion engines are known quantities, right? They're capable of sustained, heavy load lugging up steep gradients.
See, I come at it from a completely different kinetic perspective. You're focused on the peak potential of the ICE engine, which is only available in a tiny, high RPM band. The EV's dominance is rooted in its instantaneousness. The XUV 7XO, powerful as it is, suffers from, basic mechanical limitations. There's latency. The turbo needs time to spool up. The power is delayed. And crucially, its automatic transmission has to shift gears, which interrupts the power flow.
Those shifts are microseconds in modern transmissions.
But the interruption is still measurable, and it's cumulative. The XUV 9S's torque, all 380 Newton of it, is available at 0 RPM. There are no gaps, no shifts, no hesitation. That 2.5-second difference in a 0 to 100 sprint isn't theoretical. It's a massive real-world advantage when you're executing a quick overtake on a highway. The EV just acts immediately.
Okay, I'll acknowledge that immediate torque advantage in stop-and-go city traffic. But what happens when we take this flagship SUV where it's supposed to go, into the high-altitude mountains? The XUV 7XO's ruggedness in the high Himalayas is proven. The XEV 9S might be able to climb, sure, but the need for charging infrastructure turns that fantastic performance into a massive operational handicap. The 7XO fills up in 5 minutes.
That's a critical infrastructure point, and it's valid for today, but let's stick purely to the powertrain efficacy in that high-altitude environment. The XEV 9S has a physics-based dominance in the mountains that the 7XO cannot overcome. Internal combustion engines rely on oxygen. They lose roughly 3% of their power for every 1,000 feet of elevation gain.
Standard physics, yes.
Right, but let's quantify it. At a high pass like Rotang, sitting around 13,000 feet, the XUV 7XO could lose nearly 40% of its peak power. It's literally gasping for air. The electric motor, though, is anaerobic. It doesn't need oxygen. The XUV 9S produces its full 282 bhp at sea level, and it produces that same full, undiminished output at 13,000 feet. So just when the IC vehicle is struggling, the EV has consistent, reliable power. The performance debate isn't even close when you factor in the environment.
Your focus on pure acceleration is intriguing, but that reliance on complex electronics leads me right to my next concern: durability and ride quality. Traditional buyers value the proven dependability of the mechanical FSD system in the XUV 7XO.
Which is a very good system, I agree.
It is. It uses established valves, established hydraulics, no complex sensors required for daily operation, and it offers a robust, predictable feel on broken rural tracks. We know it works. Because the XUV 9S has to manage that heavy underfloor battery, its rebound control has to be tighter, which could make it feel a bit sharper over speed breakers at slow speeds compared to the 7XO's passive setup.
I'm just not convinced by that line of reasoning, because active suspension it's a generational leap. The XUV 7XO's FSD is sophisticated passive damping, yes, but it's fundamentally reactive. It responds to a pothole or a corner after the fact.
That is dependable, robust engineering.
It is. But the XUV 9S's system, the Electronic Continuous Damping Control, or CDC, is proactive. This system uses sensors to read the road and your inputs every 15 milliseconds. Think of it as a brain controlling each wheel 66 times every single second.
That speed is impressive, sure, but what does the driver actually feel?
The driver feels something that should be impossible. The system can instantly stiffen the outer dampers as you're entering a corner, proactively stopping body roll before it starts. Then, the moment you straighten out, it instantly softens those same dampers to absorb bumps. It effectively decouples ride comfort from handling. A purely mechanical system it physically cannot do that. Plus, the in-glow architecture allows for better suspension geometry overall.
You've made a compelling case for dynamic superiority, but let's shift to structural utility. The XUV 7XO's monocoque is based on a proven 5-star safety legacy. People trust it. And yes, the engine placement means it's FWD biased, but it retains mechanical all-wheel drive. For the traditional buyer who goes through mud or snow or steep gravel, the XUV 7XO offers that necessary system. The XUV 9S is strictly RWD. You're giving up a core tenet of the SUV category for better 0 to 100 times.
That's a critical point, I know. The XUV 9S does sacrifice that mechanical front axle. However, the precision of an electric motor means its traction control is unbelievably fast. But let's address the architectural utility where the XUV 9S truly shines as a better family 7-seater.
A better family 7-seater? I find that highly debatable.
It's better packaged, it solves the fatal flaw of almost every 3-row SUV in this class, including the 7XO. When you have all 7 seats occupied, the 7XO's boot space, around 240 liters, it's inadequate. You can't fit luggage for a family.
We all accept that constraint when buying a vehicle this size.
But you don't have to anymore. The XUV 9S eliminates that constraint entirely. The space where the engine used to be is now a dedicated 150-liter Frunk, a front trunk. The secondary storage solves the luggage problem. You can finally put backpacks or charging cables up front and still have the rear for suitcases. This is functionality the XUV 7XO cannot physically offer. And don't forget the flat floor in the second row, no transmission tunnel. That's real-world utility from a superior architecture.
We've established a clear and highly technical split between these two. I have to reiterate that the XUV 7XO remains the safest, most dependable choice for the adventure tourer. It offers maximum range security, up to 840 kilometers, proven mechanical durability, and that crucial mechanical AWD option. It's the known quantity for the buyer who values rugged freedom above everything else.
And I will maintain that the XEV 9S is the technically superior product by every modern metric. It's faster, it handles dramatically better because of its low center of gravity and proactive suspension, and it's actually more practical for a full family thanks to that frunk and the flat floor. The XEV 9S is the clear urban king, yes, but it's awesome for the high-mileage commuter who wants the best engineering money can buy.
The choice then really compels the listener to weigh the security of the past dependable range and rugged mechanicals against the undeniable performance and architectural advantages of the electric future.
And it proves that both of these vehicles in their own way are the pinnacle of their respective platforms. It gives us plenty to think about as this transition continues.